Minecraft is getting sued for illegally changing their terms of service to hurt players like you and me. But what does that mean, and what can we do? This is some insane news that's just come out, and it could change how we play Minecraft forever. So let's talk about it. First, I want to flash back to May 2023, when Mojang was involved in some pretty big drama over a server known as Grand Theft Minecart. See, Grand Theft Minecart, or GTM, is a network that takes GTA and Minecraft and swirls them together to let players form gangs, plan out heists, and cruise the streets of Mine Santos looking for fun. One of the more unique aspects of GTM is that it has a fully fleshed out weapon system, including custom guns, weapon attachments, powers, and more. That's one of the biggest draws to the server. It makes it fun and sets it apart from just some random PvP server. But Mojang didn't quite like what GTM was up to, and so they sent over this email with some news from Mojang that guns and weapons are now banned from Minecraft servers. Now, this was pretty huge. There are a ton of servers that have guns on them. For example, Hypixel, the biggest Minecraft server that's ever existed. So people were angry, concerned, confused, and rightfully so. Players criticized this new rule because, well, people had been putting guns in Minecraft for a decade with no problem, not to mention that Minecraft itself has plenty of weapons, including firearms, and there were even add-ons up in the Minecraft marketplace that added guns or blasters to the game. I'm not going to rehash that whole discussion, but basically, Mojang caught some heat, they backed off, and they changed the rules a couple times. They started allowing weapons, just not guns, then allowed guns as long as they didn't have realistic names, and eventually just decided that they weren't going to bother taking down servers over this stuff, and just let it happen. Now, for most people, that's where the story comes to a close. We got the good ending, right? Well, let's take a closer look at that last response from Mojang, which, by the way, took over half a year. In their own words, these rules are not final, and they are subject to changes in the future. That's a problem. Mojang already showed their hand, and they clearly want to get guns out of Minecraft, they just got too much backlash at first. The way this email reads, it's less of a guns are allowed and more of a guns are fine for now, but we're gonna try to ban them again a year from now and see if people are still mad at us. Basically, Mojang's saying they'll just be changing the rules kinda whenever they want, and players just have to live with it. But can they even do that? That sounds like it might be a problem, and that takes us to today with the Minecraft lawsuit. This is Kian Brose. He's a Minecraft player, YouTuber, and server dev from Sweden, and like many others, he was affected by Mojang's new rules against guns. In fact, he had spent the last year of his life reviving a Minecraft server called MCBYT, a sort of Call of Duty-style shooter game within Minecraft that had been dead for over 10 years. But of course, after all his hard work, right before he was about to release it, Mojang dropped the bombshell that he wasn't allowed to, nobody was, and thousands of dollars and thousands of hours were in the trash, completely wasted. But Kian wasn't going to take it lying down. He had put in too much time and effort to give up here, and frankly, what Mojang did just didn't seem right. So he took a look at the Minecraft EULA, and he noticed something pretty weird. Mojang never actually said anything about guns being banned in the official rules. In fact, aside from this private email to Grand Theft Minecart, basically nobody knew about this hidden rule that they had just made, because the EULA hadn't been changed since 2020 when the rule didn't exist. Then he found something even weirder. Mojang suddenly updated their EULA with a whole bunch of insane new rules. For example, banning the use of Minecraft as a distinctive part of a title, like, you know, the title of the YouTube video you're watching right now. And then what's even weirder is that they didn't tell anybody that they changed their rules. Instead, they tried to hide it by advertising a new update all over their socials on the exact same day. Now, here in America, you can pretty much do whatever you want in a terms of service. It could say, you agree to let us turn you into a meatball, and the government's like, well, you checked the box, nothing we can do, and now you're in a bowl of spaghetti. But Kian doesn't live in the USA. He lives in Sweden, land of the IKEA, home of the Mojang, and part of the European Union, which has a lot of rules on what businesses can and cannot do, including in their terms of service. You can't do stuff like hide certain rules, make unfair rules, change things whenever you want, and wait, that sounds familiar. Apparently, Mojang was just blatantly ignoring the laws of the European Union, which cover, I don't know, like 100 million Minecraft players? And that is kind of a big deal. So Kian, rightfully quite angry at Mojang, not only for ruining a year of hard work, but for breaking the law multiple times in the process, decided the only way to get through to Mojang was through a lawsuit, and that is exactly what's happening. Kian's video goes over his entire story in way more detail than I covered here, so I highly recommend watching it to get the full scoop. Right now, he's crowdfunding for the lawsuit because, you know, Mojang is a billion-dollar corporation and he makes Minecraft servers. So please do support him if you're able to, so that we can see Mojang or Microsoft actually care about their fans and stop exploiting them. But wait, Aiden, you might say, Mojang's only breaking the law over servers with guns in their EULA. It's not like they're doing anything else shady, right? Oh, my friends, I'm so glad you asked. See, Mojang has actually done a lot more shady stuff, trying to bend the law or just snap it over their knee. And what we've been talking about is just the beginning. Literally 2 months ago, I made a video about how Mojang, with the help of some pretty awful AI, was taking down innocent Minecraft videos on mods, hack clients, and texture packs for brand protection. And of course, they never outlined in the EULA that any of this stuff was banned. But that wasn't the first time they did it either, and after a bit of research, I found out that they have over a decade of history doing this sort of thing, taking down YouTube videos, custom artwork, and entire video games for breaking TOS or infringing on their copyright when those things never even happened. I won't go over everything here, but it's a pretty long list of mistakes on Mojang's end, and some of them still aren't fixed today. On top of that, Minecraft also has a huge problem with gambling. Kian actually gets into this in his video, but those crate keys, mystery boxes, whatever you want to call them that you can find on like every Minecraft server ever is technically speaking gambling. But over in the EU, it's also legally speaking gambling, and Mojang letting kids gamble is very much illegal, especially in Sweden where the laws are very, very strict. And even aside from that, they've got another huge legal whoopsie-daisy that people have not stopped talking about for years. The Microsoft migration. They took millions of Minecraft players and forced them to start using Microsoft, which they never agreed to, and then disabled their accounts if they were too slow. Not only is that essentially theft by taking back the accounts that people paid actual real-life money for, but that's also making one-sided changes and turning the TOS into an unfair contract, which, as we just discussed, you can't do in the European Union, not in the USA. Our laws suck. This lawsuit is really just the tip of the iceberg, and if it does go through, I have no doubt that people are going to investigate into some of Mojang's other shady business practices and hopefully get some justice for the people that have been screwed over for no reason, like creators losing thousands when their videos are taken down, developers losing years of hard work because of hidden rules, or even just normal players losing the Minecraft accounts that they paid for. And speaking of the lawsuit, let's get back to that because I want to try my best to explain what else you can expect from it going forward. Now, I'm no legal expert and I want to make that very clear. I'm not Saul Goodman, I play Minecraft for a living. Fortunately, Kian detailed his plans pretty well on the GoFundMe for the lawsuit, so let's hop over there and take a look. First and foremost, before anything can happen, Kian will have to raise the money needed to hire lawyers to investigate this entire mess. Fortunately, seeing as he already beat his goal by day 2, he'll probably be pretty safe on that front. Then, once the funding is good to go, the plan is this. He wants to initiate a class action lawsuit against Mojang to hold it accountable for abusing hidden terms and ambiguous contracts and facilitating illegal underage gambling. So what does that mean for the players? Well, there's 3 main end goals here. The first is that if Mojang is found to have broken the law when creating their EULA, Mojang will pay out damages to all the players illegally bound by its contracts, which is a ton of people. The second is that for any children that have developed a gambling problem as a result of Mojang allowing underage gambling in Minecraft, they will also receive extra compensation for the suffering they went through. And finally, and most importantly, Mojang will have to update its terms of service, its EULA, and any other contracts to bring them into compliance with the consumer protection laws and contract laws of the EU. Now, let me reiterate, this lawsuit is very much centered around the laws of the European Union. If you live in America, like me, or any other country outside of the EU, those first 2 goals probably won't change anything for you because you're not bound by the GDPR or the EU's consumer protection laws. We could see players take action in their own countries, depending how this lawsuit turns out, but even then, in places like America, it's pretty unlikely that anything's gonna happen to Microsoft or Mojang, because frankly, we don't have a very good system to tackle problems like this. However, that final point, Mojang being required to change its terms of service and make it comply with EU law, is very important. If Mojang loses the case here, we are very likely to see them change the EULA not just in the EU, but everywhere, which means that nobody would have to worry about hidden rules or sudden changes to the TOS anymore. All in all, this lawsuit is looking to change things for the better and make Minecraft a much happier place for players around the world, and I think that's a really good thing. Kudos to Kian for taking the time, doing the research, and holding Mojang accountable. Absolutely, go watch his incredible video, and if there is anything you can do to support him and his goals here, please do, because honestly, it helps all of us. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one. Peace, peace.